They had been told to report to the main gate at the Rhodesian African Rifles Barracks at Balla Balla at 8 a.m. And at 5:02 the first appeared. And within 10 minutes over 200 of them were queuing up in single file and in silence to join the Rhodesian Army. 200 recruits, a normal Monday intake, with the numbers slowly rising. At the gates, the guards made the first among many inspections. The doctors and intelligence officers screening would come later. The guards were looking at their shoulders for hard skin or bruising, evidence that they had at some time been carrying guns for another army, and they looked for bullet or shrapnel wounds, evidence that they'd been involved in an armed skirmish. I asked them why they wanted to join, and I got the stock replies. Want to fight for my country, revenge my family's death, even I'm out of work and I want a job. But it would be hard, with cameras and army officers watching, to know exactly why suddenly they wanted to become Rhodesian soldiers. Within 2 weeks, they will look like this, recruits already into their arms drill. The demands this war is making on white Rhodesians is the reason why the army has pruned its training program, pushing a man through a course in 3 months that once took 6. In this one camp, 100 men a week are becoming infantrymen. That's 2,500 since last August. This rush of black soldiers, the army says, has nothing to do with Prime Minister Smith's internal settlement and the prospect of a black government and a Zimbabwe national army. It's simply, they say, a question of availability. There just aren't enough whites to cope anymore. Major Peter Morris is the commanding officer here, and I asked him if he wasn't worried about infiltration, nationalist guerrillas slipping in as novice recruits.
He conceived ideas when he arrives, even if he had, for example, let's take the worst case, undergone terrorist training, which is 2 weeks approximately in duration from some pretty mediocre sort of instructors. It doesn't take him long while he's here, to find out fairly quickly that the caliber of instructor is fairly fierce and very much superior to anything that he would have got outside of Rhodesia. And after a while, he becomes regimentally involved, and he sees that the force that, should he decide to leave and go back and join the terrorist groups, would be something to cope with. And I think he probably changes his mind fairly rapidly.
By most accounts, in and out of this country, this army is one of the most professional in Africa. And as it is already a majority black army, it must be an encouraging factor to the black nationalist politicians now negotiating with Mr. Smith on the country's future. Michael Nicholson, News at 10, Balla Balla.